Hey, fifth grade, Miss Kachibata here. Okay, so this is the video for week 4, day 5. I think they messed up in some of the labeling because it skipped from day 3 to day 5. But anyway, this is the next lesson in your packet. So today, the objective is I can use multiplication to calculate volume. So we've done this lesson. So just to remind you, the um, the formula for volume is length times width times height, okay? And then your unit is going to be cubic, centimeters, inches, whatever it is. And we represent that by using an exponent of 3, like this, all right, with whatever it is. All right, so for our daily fluency, we're just going to find the area. Again, it's been like this all week. So on this first one, we have 14 inches times 4 inches. So if you do 14 times 4, 4 times 4 is 16. 4 times 1 is 4 plus 1 is 5. So that gives us 56 inches squared. Okay, and then here we have a square, and we know that this side is 10 centimeters, and I know with squares, all sides are equal. So if this side is 10 centimeters, then that means this side is also 10 centimeters. So to find the area, I can just multiply the length times the width, and 10 times 10 is going to give us 100 square centimeters. All right, moving down, this one shows 20 meters long and 9 centimeters. This should be centimeters. And 9 centimeters wide. So we're just going to multiply 20 times 9. Okay, and then I can pull out that basic fact. 2 times 9 is 18. And then times that by 10, because I have 1 0, is going to give me 180 cubic centimeters. Oh wait, square centimeters. Sorry, we're not doing volume, we're doing area. I forgot. All right. And then we have another square. So if I know that this side is 20 inches, then I also know that this side is going to be 20 inches. And if I multiply 20 times 20, again, that basic fact is 2 times 2, which is 4. And since I have 2 zeros, I'm going to multiply by 100. So that's going to give me 400 square inches. All right, moving on down. This one is 13 feet times 3 feet. So I'm going to multiply 13 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9, and 3 times 1 is 3. So that gives me 39 square feet. Okay, here I have 13 yards and 8 yards. So I'm going to multiply 13 times 8. 8 times 3 is 24. 8 times 1 is 8 plus 2 is 10. So that gives me 104 square yards. All right. So that's just a little warm up of area to get us ready for volume. So if you go to the next page, here we are on the next page. All right, so we're going to find the volume of each shape. So you can do this in multiple ways. So if you want to just count the cubes, you can do that. If you want to already use the formula because you know how to do that, you can also do that. Okay, so here I see that, again, just to remind you, the formula for volume is length times width times height. Okay, so here the length I can see is 3. Okay, the width, remember that's how far back it goes, is 2. And the height, that's how tall it is also 2. So if I say 3 times 2 times 2, 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 times 2 is 12. So this gives me 12 cubic centimeters. Okay. And again, if you counted these cubes, you would get the same thing. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cubes on this layer. And I know that if I divided this into 2 layers, then there's also going to be 6 cubes on this bottom layer here. Okay, going on to the next one. The length here is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. The width is going to be 1, 2, and the height is also 2. So if I multiply 4 times 2 times 2, 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 2 is 16. So that gives me 16 cubic centimeters. On the bottom left, here we have a length of 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have a width of 1, 2, and we have a height of 1, 2, 3. So if I say 3 times 2 times 3, right, 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 times 3 is 18. So it's going to give us 18. I'm assuming it's still going to be cubic centimeters, so cubic centimeters. All right, this one's a little dark, it's hard to see, but the length is 1, 2, 3. The width is 1, 2. And the height is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. So we're going to do 3 times 2 times 7. 3 times 2 is 6. And 6 times 7 is 42. So it's going to give us 42 cubic centimeters. Okay, so this is the new learning part, and for today I'm just going to skip over it a little bit quickly because it's kind of just using a lot of words to explain that we can use multiplication in the formula to find the volume of shapes. All right, so down here they show you, the length times the width times the height, and then they're kind of just breaking it down how they found, how they decomposed it in a bunch of different ways. All right, so again, this is some more examples, and it's just telling you how you can use the layers and the number of layers to find the volume, okay? And you're still going back to that length times width times height formula, all right? This is also showing how if you find the area of the face is like the top part up here. If you find the area of a face, or any face, all of these sides are faces. So if you find an area of one of those and multiply that by the number of layers, which is the other number essentially, you can get the same area. Okay, so as you can see, let me erase this. So right here, they said, okay, well, if I know that the face right here is 3 times 2, like I'm finding the area of the top part, then I'm just going to multiply that by the number of layers or the height, which is 1, 2, 3. So they said 3 times 2 and then times 3. So again, still using that formula. Okay, so now we're going to go to the let's try. You probably remember this from your workbook because we did this exact same thing. All right, so there's an example up at the top if you need that. And then they even filled in the next one for you. So looking down at this second problem, they said the length is 3 centimeters, the width is 2 centimeters, and the height is 4 centimeters. So using that formula, I can say, okay, the volume is going to be equal to 3 times 2. Well, I should use my units because they gave them here. Oh, they did it at the bottom too. Sorry guys, I can't see. Okay, so down here they said 3 times 2 times 4. So then they said 3 times 2 is 6, and 6 times 4 is 24. All right, so that is 24 cubic centimeters. Okay, now you have to find the dimensions yourself and then use the formula. So the length on this one is 1, 2, 3, 4 centimeters. The width, how far back it goes, is 1, 2 centimeters. And the height is how tall it is, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 centimeters. All right, to find that volume, we're going to multiply them all together. So 4 times 2 times 4. Okay. And when I multiply that together, 4 times 2 is 8, and 8 times 4 is 32 cubic centimeters. Okay, and remember, if you have a prism like this and you can't remember the formula, just know that you can sit here and count all of the cubes too. That still works. Okay, going to the bottom. The length here is 1, 2, 3, 4. The width, how far back it goes, is 1, 2, 3 centimeters. And the height is how tall it is, which is 1, 2, 3 centimeters. Right. And again, to find that volume, we're just going to use the formula. So we're going to multiply 4 times 3 times 3. 4 times 3 is 12. And 12 times 3 is 36. So the volume is 36 cubic centimeters. Okay, I did the formula on the bottom of the ones on the other page, so if you did that, you don't have to put them in this section, because this is just repeating what we just did, which is writing out the formulas to calculate the volume. Okay, so scrolling down to your problem set, if you have been working through it with me so far, go ahead and pause so that you can work at this out yourself, and then you can check your answers. Okay, so it says calculate the volume of each rectangular prism, include the units. All right, so to find the volume here, again, it gave us all the dimensions, so we're going to say, okay, the length is 4, so we'll say 4 inches times the width, which is 3 inches, times the height, which is 4 inches, and then 4 times 3 is 12 inches squared, times 4 inches is going to give us 48 cubic inches. Okay, and don't forget to include those units. All right, and then same thing here. The volume is 3 meters. Make sure you pay attention to the units because sometimes they change. The width is 2 meters. And the height is 6 meters. All right, 3 meters times 2 meters is going to give us 6 square meters. So 6 square meters times 6 meters is going to give us 36 cubic meters. All right, let's see. Now we have a word problem. Tyrone is constructing a box in the shape of a rectangle prism to store his baseball cards. It has a length of 10 centimeters, a width of 7 centimeters, and a height of 8 centimeters. So I'm annotating that word problem. And then the question I have to answer is, what is the volume of the box? Okay, so if you want, you can draw a little cube if you're good at that. I am not very good at that. All right, so I know that the length is 10 centimeters, the width is 7 centimeters, whoops, and the height is 8 centimeters. All right, so to find the volume, I'm going to say 10 centimeters times 7 centimeters times 8 centimeters. Okay, 10 centimeters times 7 centimeters is going to give us 70 square centimeters times 8 centimeters. Okay, 7 times 8, I'm going to pull out that basic fact. 7 times 8 is 56. And then I multiply that by 10 because I have 1 0. So I'm going to get 560 cubic centimeters. And since this is a word problem, I need to write my answer in a statement. So the volume of the box is 560 cubic centimeters. Okay. All right. Last page. Okay, so Aaron says more information is needed to find the volume of the prisms. Explain why Aaron is mistaken and calculate the volume of the prisms. So this goes back to what they were saying on the first page, right? If you know the area of one of the faces, and you also know the third side that you need to calculate the volume, then you can still do it, right? They didn't give you the length and the height here, but they did give you the area of this face, which means they already calculated that. So now we just have to multiply it by the width right here. So in order to find the volume, we can say 60 centimeters squared times 5 centimeters, right? And then pull out that basic fact, 6 times 5 is 30. And then we multiply by 10 because we have 1 0, so that gives us 300 cubic centimeters. So we're still able to find the volume here, even though they didn't give us all 3 dimensions. They had already multiplied 2 of the dimensions together to get the area of this face of the prism right here. Okay. All right, and then on B, same thing. They gave us the area of the face up top. So they said this is 20 inches squared. So now we have the height that we can multiply it by because they already did the length and the width. So we can say 20 square inches times 12 inches. All right, pull out that basic fact, 2 times 12 is going to give us 24. We multiply by the 0 here, or multiply by 10 because of the 1 0, which gives us 240 cubic inches. All right, and then down at the bottom, you can use this place to explain what we just talked about, which is just how you can still find the volume even if you don't have all 3 dimensions, as long as they gave you the area of one of the faces of the prism, right? So just write 2 to 3 sentences, complete sentences, to practice explaining your thinking down there. And that is all you have to do for today. So this should have been a review. I'll post the anchor chart for volume in case you want that. That gives the formula and everything to keep with you on your computer or phone. And you are done for week 4. This was the last page. All right, so week 5 video is coming soon, and I will upload those next. All right, see you later. Bye.